Hello, friends. How are you today? Well, we've got the data back on the Schumann resonance chart, and I just thought I'd give you a little update about what's going on with it, and then maybe a little bit of inspiration. As soon as I started recording, my neighbor started talking right outside my home, so you probably can hear them a little in the background, which, you know what, I think that's joyous. Seriously, I do. The human touch is so important right now. So at any rate, this is life, right? This is living. So anyway, the data had been missing for 3 days, and it came back on January 6th at about 1300 hours, right about maybe a little bit before 1300. And so this is actually the current chart from this morning. You can see that we can see nothing. It's calm, it's blue. There's a line at 20 hertz. There's very little even at 8, which is really interesting. It's like we're almost totally disconnected from daily reality and in our own zone. Why do I say that? Because the green line at 8 is really about our connection with the natural frequency of the earth as living human beings, in my view. And we are living on Earth, but and then all the normal colors that we see in the chart, in my view, the frequency ranges reflect the human experience in its different layers of experience. And so none of that's on the chart. And so it's extremely calm, even though there's an incredible amount of things going on out in the world, and many of them trying to get our attention. So let's take a look at what's behind these numbers, this image. So what we have here is we have the frequency chart, and it's hard to see exactly what's going on here because we have such a small amount of data, and that makes the moves in the data look really big. But we have a reduction to a 1 hertz range in 2, which is pretty narrow. And again, we only have a few hours of data. When the data first came out, there was a lot here at 24, but it did spike into the high 25s, which, again, I like to think of that as humanity sort of stepping forth and presenting itself. However, amplitudes are so low. They're at 1 or 2. And so it's just, there's almost no energy in the chart, which is sort of evident by just having it be pure blue. And then the qualities are also very low, with one exception. You can see here that red went up to 19. It spiked pretty high in this kind of mountaintop shape here on the chart. Don't know what the meaning is yet because we kind of don't have the context around it. However, what we do know is that there have been times where red has been kind of flatlining in the qualities up around 20 or so. And today, from a low level, it's spiked up to 19, but then came back down. So we'll have to take a look and see if any trends develop over that. So that's the message today. There was a X-class flare, but it happened prior to the data coming out. And the full moon is happening, but that's going to be tomorrow on the chart at 6:07 a.m. in Tomsk. So does anyone else feel like, like we missed it? Like what happened? And it's interesting because there hasn't been a lot of the white big waves on the chart. Now, seasonally, we do tend to see those in the spring in the northern hemisphere. And then going into the early summer, into July even especially. But is anyone else missing those? I'm kind of missing them. And it just seems like we've been going on for a long time. And those always bring such big inspiration. And it feels like it would be great to have inspiration because we've just been through, in the Northern Hemisphere, we've just been through the dark of winter. And in planetary history, for the North and Southern Hemisphere especially, we've just been through a very dark time in human history. Right? We have been. And there's kind of this, well, for me anyway, there's kind of this ache for inspiration, right? There's this desire to connect with the light. And since I talked a lot in recent videos about the coming of the light and how after the solstice, after a period of days, there's 1 minute of light extra each day. I think it was a minute, or maybe it was a minute. And so if you haven't seen those, you should go take a look at them, because it was really fascinating. And I have a conclusion coming up that I'm just sort of fighting with myself to tell you about, but I'll bring that out as soon as I do a little bit more research. But basically, that's a part of this season, the ache, the desire, right? To have more light, to re-engage with life, right? Because we're still in the winter hibernation period, even though the light has started expanding during the daytime, and it's really noticeable.